We are 22 days away from the midterm elections. The big question, of course, is whether we will see a blue wave. Steve Liesman is here with the results of the CNBC All-America Survey. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Melissa, maybe not. If you take a look at these results, 800 Americans polled across the country, what we see is not necessarily a wave. Now, the Democrats may take the House or they could eke out a win in the Senate, but take a look at these numbers. In the generic ballot question, that's what we call this, who will you vote for, a Democrat or a Republican? Just a 6-point lead for the Democrats. Now, they enjoy typically a bigger number because there are more registered Democrats in the country. In this poll, there's 2 or 3% more Democrats who were polled in this poll, and that just happens. That's just the way it happens. But a 6-point lead is not necessarily a wave in the making, our pollsters say. And a big part of that is the 70% who are unsure. In fact, 4 of 10 independents are still undecided. That is a large number. This election may turn on these independents right here. 4% say they'll vote for an independent candidate. One thing the Republicans have going for them is this record optimism we're registering in this survey. 48% of the American public say they are optimistic about the current economy and they think things will get better. And that's quite a bit more than we had in December 2016. And like I said, an all-time record for the poll. 30%, only 30% say they're pessimistic now and think things will get worse. Working against the Republicans, not terrific numbers on the poll. We asked who benefited from the tax cuts. 71% said large corporations benefited a lot or pretty much. The wealthy said 67%, small business 36%. And then we look how we go down here. 31% say just as average taxpayers, and 23% say me personally. Looking again at the tariffs, a very divided public on tariffs. Are these China? Do you favor these China tariffs? 1/3 say yes, 1/3 say no. I kind of like the honesty of people. 37% say we don't know enough to really make that decision. However, when it comes to the impact from Chinese tariffs, just 32% say they're good for the U.S. economy, and 49% say they are bad for consumer prices. So, guys, when it comes to these issues, the Republicans seem to have this economic optimism on their side, but specific issues, the tax cuts and the tariffs, not playing particularly well, guys.
Is there any color, Steve, on the percentages or the people behind the percentages on economic optimism, those who are optimistic versus those who are pessimistic? I'm just trying to understand who is so pessimistic about this economy, which has really been firing on all cylinders by all data accounts.
So one of the things I've learned over the 11 years I've done this poll is all economic views are filtered through the political prism, which is to say, essentially, Democrats are among the most pessimistic. But we have seen increases in optimism when we go down the income scale, when we go down the education scale, when we go to blue-collar workers. A lot of those folks have registered more optimism than they have in the past. What happens, Melissa, when the White House changes hands is Democrats and Republicans flip.
Right.
But one of the unique aspects right now is that, see if you can follow this because I have a hard time saying it, but Democrats are not as pessimistic now under Trump as Republicans were under Obama. They're pessimistic, but not as pessimistic as they were. And that's how we get to those. And independents in their net optimism have flipped their sign. So they were net negative under Obama. They're net positive under Trump. And that's how you get to these soaring levels. And I'm quite surprised by them, I have to tell you, because we had hit a record. I don't know if you remember, I did this a quarter ago. I talked about the record.
Yeah.
Well, it turned out we could go higher still in American optimism.
But it is amazing that Democrats are less pessimistic
than
correct?
Republicans were back then.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
really the story. Well, I think a lot of them maybe are doing a little bit better than they had been. Lower jobless rates,
lower taxes,
and somewhat better wages. And some of them have lower taxes, although many in Democratic states not necessarily.